So, Metroid Prime 4's re-reveal and the Switch 2's official reveal, those are the two things that I have been waiting for the most to keep me excited and engaged in just the general hobby of gaming, following the industry, and even in a lot of ways running this YouTube channel. And now, after this past Thursday, we are finally on the other side of both of those things, which means today I can finally combine both real topics into an actual, tangible conversation. It also means that I'm more excited to be making YouTube videos than I have been in a long time. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4's re-reveal last June kept me very engaged. I was making a ton of videos, so much to talk about and theorize about, speculate on, reveal and review everything that was shown to us in that trailer. We're still waiting for more information. We have a lot of questions. There is a lot to still discover about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. But after that game, again, it was all about the Switch 2's reveal. And now that that has happened, and leaks aside, we've seen the official reveal from Nintendo themselves, there's a lot to consider on how Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and the Switch 2 might hopefully work together harmoniously, maybe on launch day together. And I think that the element I want to focus on the most is one of the more unique things that we know about the Switch 2 currently, maybe even the biggest and only unique thing when comparing the Switch 2 to the current Switch. And it's the fact that after the leaks and rumors about there being a mouse functionality maybe to the new Joy-Cons, the reveal trailer did show us that yes, there is a way to use the Joy-Cons as a mouse. It was only briefly confirmed in that trailer, but we all saw it, we all picked up on it. Those little attachments kind of plugging into the bottom of the Joy-Cons and then sliding around a table or a surface, looking like little actual mice operating like a computer mouse. We all saw that, and I think that we're all kind of waiting to understand what does that really mean for gameplay on the Switch. Obviously, using a computer mouse for playing games on a PC, whether it's an RTS, whether it's a first-person shooter, or a variety of other things, that's old news. We've been doing that for decades, like I said in my reaction to the Switch trailer. But now we get to consider it in a different way. A, because it's a home console, B, because it's a Nintendo Switch hybrid portable console, and C, because they're Joy-Cons, they're not traditional mice. And so how does Nintendo plan to incorporate this into just general Nintendo and Switch gaming? Before I jump into comparing it more directly to Metroid and Metroid Prime 4, I think it's worth kind of exploring what this could mean for the Switch 2. And again, in my reaction video, I touched on it very briefly. I just kind of want to go into it for a couple more minutes here today. And it's, if this is something that is meant to be more of a gimmicky kind of feature that is used very specifically for certain mini games or party game collections, the things that jump to mind to me would be a casual game like the Switch 2's version of 1-2 Switch, or like another Switch Sports kind of game. Mario Party is something that comes to mind. There are a few more hardcore game applications. I think Mario Maker, even though that's not a series or a game for me, I think that being able to use the Joy-Cons as a mouse for something like Mario Maker would be really fantastic for fans of that franchise. But the question for me still becomes, how does it actually get used in more of a hardcore gaming purpose? And in fact, I made sure to actually have some controllers here. I've got my my Zelda Skyward Sword official Joy-Cons here that I pulled out. And so it's a weird concept, right? To imagine taking this and playing a game and turning this on its side. And you can't really see, I don't really have a way to, there you go, you know, and just like sliding it like so. What are we supposed to be able to slide it on? You know, that's the real question. When I think about playing a game like Metroid, like a Pikmin or something that might actually use this mouse functionality, are we supposed to, with my Pro Controller, be playing it with a Pro Controller, and then when need, I grab, which Joy-Con would I need here? I grab the Joy-Con, and so I'm playing like this, and then I grab the Joy-Con, and I'm doing this. You know, I'm doing this over here, and I'm sliding this around. It doesn't really make sense. I feel like you'd have to be using both separately, and I'm playing Pikmin. I'm playing, I don't know, a 3D Mario game that uses it, or a Kirby game, Metroid Prime 4, whatever, and I'm playing like this, which could be fine, especially with the bigger Joy-Cons and not these ones. And when I need, I would put this one down with my right hand, and I'm doing this, and I'm sliding here. This probably feels really goofy for me to demonstrate just sitting at my desk, where part of my hand is off camera. I don't know. It both seems like really cool. And also awkward because you might not want to play a whole game with just your two Joy-Cons. We probably want to play with our Pro controller. And I'm not even considering the portable part to this, right? The fact that if you're playing portably, I guess on tabletop mode you could do it if you have the space to use a mouse. But if you're playing literally just handheld Switch, that mouse functionality is pretty much out the window, unless you can connect a third Joy-Con, but then you'd be holding your Switch, you'd let go and hold your Switch in just your left hand, you'd grab another Joy-Con and mouse around, so man, there's just a lot to consider with what the best way to do this would be. I had made a comparison to Pikmin 3 on the Wii U, actually, in that reaction video, where I mentioned how that game was so brilliantly designed where you could use multiple controllers and control schemes at the same time. Probably the most immersive, euphoric, game-changing experience in my entire history of gaming, as extreme as that may sound, is playing Pikmin 3 on the Wii U with my Wii Remote and Nunchuck. Those were last generation controllers that were just compatible with the Wii U right out of the box. I could play Pikmin with the pointer motion controls, which was the best way to just play the base game. But then I could set up the gamepad as another controller, so they're both connected at the same time, the gamepad and the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. And I would have a coffee table sitting next to me, and I'd be sitting in like a chair in front of my TV. And I'd have the gamepad next to me, and I'd be able to look over at my gamepad, move the map around, look at the inventory and the Pikmin stuff, and then back to the TV, controlling all in real time. And it was really incredible and immersive to use both the incredible Wii Remote controls for the gameplay, but then the secondary gamepad screen, touchscreen for all of the map and other features and functions of that game. It was an incredible experience, and it was combining both controllers at the exact same time. And so that's why when we bring this back to Metroid Prime 4, will there be a way to do that? Like I was just demonstrating, with my hands a few minutes ago. Would there be a way to be playing Metroid Prime 4 with a Pro controller, which is probably going to be the ideal way I'm going to want to play the game? And then if there is mouse functionality to a game like Metroid Prime 4, would I just pick up a secondary single Joy-Con, like the right Joy-Con, that's connected at the same time the Pro controller is connected, and when needed, pick it up to do certain things like pull levers or activate doors, or do the kinds of things that Metroid Prime 3 Corruption had us do with the Wii Remote? Is that how that would work? Where it's, you just hold the Pro controller in one hand and you grab the mouse temporarily in your right hand to just do something really quick, and then you let go of that, and then you're using the Pro controller again with two hands? It's an awkward way to think about doing things, but it's one option, if it's even compatible with Metroid Prime 4 in the first place. Now, the more obvious connection is very simple, and it's the fact that first-person games on PCs already work tremendously well with a mouse, with a PC mouse. Again, I referenced this at the beginning, for decades. We've been, not me, I don't play on PC, but people and PC gamers have been playing games like first-person shooters, like Call of Duty and Crysis and all these different things with a mouse and keyboard, and for a lot of people, they swear by it. And I understand why. I've dabbled with first-person games on a mouse, don't get me wrong, and it can be really great. You can be super fast, super accurate, especially in a game like a Call of Duty, where you need to be kind of fast with your movement. It's a very twitch reflex kind of gameplay. And using a mouse for something like that, I totally get it. I think it's super cool. It's not the way I prefer to play or game, but it's great for what it is. And so the natural connection that we would all make with a first-person Metroid Prime game and this mouse functionality for the Joy-Con 2s is to be able to play it like you would play a Metroid Prime game or a first-person game on a PC with a mouse and keyboard. And yeah, look, I can't lie, there is something kind of cool to that. Some of us may forget this, but early on in the Wii days, when the Wii Remote and Nunchuck was still a very new, innovative, game-changing idea, and we were all still kind of adapting to this as a controller. This is like in year one, I would say, of the Wii. One of the selling points and one of the talking points around the Wii Remote and Nunchuck was that the Wii Remote almost operated like a mouse in a 3D virtual space. Just the ability to point at the screen and use the cursor, like the little finger cursor, to select the Wii channel or the game or whatever you wanted to open up from the main Wii menu, or anything in a game that used it like a pointer, like a mouse cursor. that's kind of how a lot of people talked about it, and even Nintendo themselves. Like, it's almost like using a mouse in your hand, but instead of sliding it across a desk, it's in like a virtual 3D space where you can just waggle it around and point at whatever you wanted to. And so when applying that to a first-person game like Metroid Prime 3, or even some of the other first-person games that released on the Wii, like the Conduit games, there was plenty of Call of Duty games and Medal of Honor games. That was kind of the concept, is like, it's like playing a console first-person game as if it was on PC with a mouse. And so for Metroid Prime 4, why not take this? And here's the thing that I think not a lot of us caught right away. In that reveal trailer for the Switch 2, I didn't notice this till like probably the third time I watched the trailer, actually. Not even in my live reaction did I catch this. But on top of the inside, the connector point of the Joy-Con 2s, once it was doing the mouse thing and sliding around, there was a little connector thing that they plugged into. So in order to use the mouse feature properly, it's either going to come with these little mouse connectors, or maybe we have to buy them separately. Hopefully it comes in the box. But you'll connect it to something to make it a mouse, and then you can... Again, I have to make sure you can see. It's all... My mic is in the way. Then you can slide it across in a better fashion to use the mouse feature, right? So you're sliding it this way because you've plugged it in. So for Metroid Prime 4, maybe we plug those mouse things in, and maybe the way to actually use any mouse functionality, if it's... Because there's two ways you could use it. Like I said earlier, for certain contextual things like pulling a lever or activating a pump or doing some weird, like, you know, like a soldering mini game like Metroid Prime 3 has, maybe you would only temporarily grab it and then use it to do that thing. Or you could play the whole game like a first-person shooter on a PC with a mouse and keyboard, and instead of doing the awkward thing I did earlier, where you're doing the Pro Controller on one hand and the mouse thing on the right hand, you would just play it with two separate Joy-Cons, and you got the mouse things on them, and you're playing it like this, which is not a terrible way to play a game, by the way. I played Skyward Sword on the Switch that way, and I really, really liked it. So you're playing Metroid Prime 4 like this, and and maybe the whole time you're just using a mouse here, and you're using your Joy-Con here. This could be really freaking cool, you guys. I am not gonna lie. However, there is one huge problem with this whole concept, and that is that it's not really feasible to use a mouse with your right hand when you're sitting on a couch playing a game. You know, again, I'm not even considering the portable aspect. I don't play portably. I won't play my Switch 2 portably very often, so I don't even care about that part. Although, portable players are almost entirely going to be alienated from this. So that's something weird about the mouse functionality too. But let's talk about playing on your TV, you know, or playing docked. I play docked. I play on my TV, I sit on my big comfy couch, I'm like 10 feet away from my big TV, and that's how I'm playing my Switch. I'm leaning back. This is how I'm playing, okay? And the TV is like 10 feet away from me, right? In order to use a mouse, you need to be like I am now. I'm sitting at a desk, I've got my laptop monitor in front of me, and I've got my real mouse here, and this is how I would play something with a mouse. Sitting at a desk, with it right up here, you know, chest, abdomen level. I'm in a computer chair, not a comfy couch. And I'd have to be playing like this. So playing Metroid Prime 4 like this, sitting at a desk? What? No, thank you. That's not how people play video games, man. At least most people. Not me. Like I said, I'm leaning back, man. I'm chilling. I'm just doing this, you know? And so if I was to play Skyward Sword, for example, like I did with two Joy-Cons, I could do this. And I didn't mind doing this. You know, I'm doing the sword thing and I'm whatever. And it was pretty comfortable, right? For the mouse functionality, how are we going to be leaning back in a couch and I'm trying to do this and I need to use them? What am I doing? Am I doing it on my leg? Am I doing it on, like, do I have to have a cushion next to me and rub it on a cushion, or have a mouse pad sitting on the couch next to me? Do I have to lean forward on my coffee table in front of me and play this way with the coffee table? So I'm kind of rambling on about this, but I'm trying to lay out and play out these scenarios on how this really cool possible option, if Metroid Prime 4 or other first-person games want to use this mouse functionality for this. Whereas with the Wii Remote Nunchuck, I could do this. I played Metroid Prime 3 in 2007 this way, just chilling, and it was great. And same with the Metroid Prime trilogy when that came out in 2009 for the Wii. But an actual mouse that requires a surface to run it across, I don't know, man. It's just It would be disappointing to not be able to comfortably try this feature just the normal way people play their video games on their TV, you know? Don't get me wrong, if there's also like a motion control that operates like Metroid Prime 3 this way, which Metroid Prime Remastered has, I'll try that. I also love the Metroid Prime Remastered's Pro controls. Just the dual analog worked so well, so Prime 4 is probably going to do the same. But again, it seems like a big feature to the Switch 2 is the mouse thing. And for all of the minigame and Mario Party stuff and casual game, minigame, 1-2 Switch things, none of that stuff is for me. I don't personally play those kinds of games, so any mouse functionality applied to those things, I won't personally be excited for, and I won't experience them. Nothing against them. They have their value, and I know a lot of you guys will probably love that stuff. Maybe Nintendo makes the occasional game that's like the way like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse was designed around the gamepad. Maybe they make like a Kirby game or a Mario or a Princess Peach game or something that is totally based around the mouse functionality. Or Mario Maker, like I said, for fans of that. And that might be cool, and I might try some of those. Not Mario Maker, but some of the other ones. But when I think about the games I really want my Switch 2 for, which is Metroid games, which is Mario and Zelda games, which is, you know, third-party games. I made this comparison, like a Monster Hunter Wilds, you know, or a future Monster Hunter game that comes over. Elder Scrolls 6, whenever that comes out, if that comes to Switch 2 down the road. You know, those are the kinds of things that I personally play. Doom, The Dark Ages, another first-person game, by the way. So that's what I'm going to be using my Switch 2 for. And so the mouse functionality, to me, has to apply to those kinds of games. And again, as somebody who plays, like most people, sitting far away from my TV, not sitting with a desk or a mouse pad in front of me, how could somebody play an entire game, not the one-off little quick motion bits where you just do this for like, you know, a minute and then you're done, but a game like Prime 4 where it's based completely around using a mouse functionality? I love the concept, and I bet it could be a really great way to experience a game like that. But how does somebody play it sitting on a couch? You know, I don't want to have... I play with like my arm rest. I'm playing all the way on the side of the couch and my arm is like up here. I'm not going to do this. I'd rather be able to have my arm down. I don't want to have a mouse pad. I don't want to have a cushion, a free seat next to me to just rub it on the cushion next to me, because that's not where I sit on my couch to play my games. So, I'm rambling about this, but I'm just kind of trying to talk out the practical uses, the goods and the bads to this idea, and applying this mouse functionality specifically to Metroid. There's a lot to consider, and I hope that something that came across in this video is that I am excited at the prospect. I think it's a cool concept. I want to see all the ways Nintendo uses this mouse functionality thing. I could see it being something like the IR sensor on the current Switch, where it barely gets used, or it's mostly relegated to games like 1-2 Switch or Labo or Ring Fit Adventure that take specific use of it for, again, the kinds of gameplay experiences that I don't personally play. But I am excited for how they can use it in more hardcore games and traditional games, and this is the stuff that I personally would choose to play. And more than that, Metroid and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. How does this work? I am excited to see what they're going to show us, but I obviously have concerns or nerves about it working practically for longer, deeper experience games like a Mario and a Metroid. So I hope that that balance came through. I'm not writing it off by any stretch. Yes, I spent a lot of time talking about my concern of how to use it properly when you're not sitting at a desk, because that's how we use mice, like computer mice and gaming mice, is sitting at a desk. This is a home console. Yeah, you can hook it up to your PC monitor, but most people don't do that. I certainly don't do that. So that's where the concern comes from. But again, I'm trying to balance it with being excited that Nintendo's trying something new, and I'm still waiting to learn, probably on the April 2nd Nintendo Direct, what they can tell us about this mouse functionality and show us its application for more traditional games and not casual minigame collections. So this is what I think. I hope it makes Metroid Prime 4 Beyond better. I hope it enhances the Metroid Prime 4 experience. And so I'm sure we'll find out more in April. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.